Hello, good evening. I hope everybody is doing well on this Sunday. And our card tonight is super cute. It is a cute, fancy fold card. Alrighty. Oh, Mary Lynn is here. Yay. Alrighty. I'll give everybody just a second. Hi, how are you doing tonight, Mary Lynn? I'm just going to kind of wiggle some things around my desk. And I'm going to go over the parts that we're going to need for tonight. You will need 2 to 3 different stackable or nestable shapes. And I did one in white, one in a pattern, and then one in cardstock. Good, but cold. It is kind of cold. It actually warmed up mid-afternoon, and it was delightful. I was over at my aunt and uncle's helping them to make a gallery wall. Kind of cool. And then she wanted to upload pictures to Persnickety Prints, so we did that. And she is actually going to make her very first scrapbook of the house that her and my uncle actually built. So it's kind of cool to see it. So I'm hoping she's able to find some of the other photos of the before stages. That would be really cool to incorporate. So that is her homework assignment, is to find those photos that she thinks she has. So hopefully she does. Hi, Lori. How are you doing? Is Jeannie with you? So far I've only discussed that you needed 2 to 3 stackable or nestable shapes. It's completely up to you how you wanted them. Then you needed 2 pieces of pattern paper that are 3 by 4, and we are going to score this. So we'll come back to that in a second. You will need a piece of white or light colored cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4. And then you would need a more bold color. Okay, nope, Jeannie's not with you tonight. Okay, well, hopefully she pops on or she watches in a later date. And then this would be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so that is going to kind of be our base. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to set our white aside. And I am going to first pull in these 3 by 4s and my paper trimmer so that we can score them. Okay, we are going to score it at 1 inch, and I will show you that. So I'm going to put my orange blade up because I don't want to cut my paper. So since my trimmer has 2 sides and it has a 1 inch on the right and 1 inch on the left, I like to put the shorter side that needs to be scored over onto the right-hand side because that still gives me some space to hold onto on the left. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to put my pattern piece in where it is 4 inches going down and it's 3 inches across. So here is my 4 by 3. I'm going to put my pattern paper at 1 inch and I'm going to score. So we're going to do that on this piece and this piece, all at the same spot. So it's my 3 by 4. I'm putting this in at 1 and I'm going to score. So now I have 2 pieces and they're both at 1 inch. And I do need a bone folder. Where is a bone folder? There's one. Okay. Okay, so let's take our pattern paper that we just scored. I'm going to fold it on that 1 inch and I'm going to give it a nice crispy edge. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Nice crispy edge. Let me just double check my directions here. Okay, so we've done that. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we need to find center, because we are going to cut into a half of a triangle. Well, it's actually going to be a triangle, so half of a pyramid, or not a pyramid, a diamond, half of a diamond. So I'm just going to put this on my glass mat, and I'm going to use a pencil, if I can find one of those sitting on my desk. No pencil. Got it. And I'm going to put a little dot at 2 inch. So, I mean, when I say little, I mean it's a teeny tiny little dot right there. And you're going to do that to both. And it's going to be on this 2 inch piece. Okay? So let's put a little dot at 2 for both. And I'm going to bring my paper trimmer back in. I'll give you a second to do that. And what we're going to do, we're going to go from the scored line to our pencil mark, and then from our scored line to our pencil mark. So you're going to do it on this sheet and the other sheet. So I'm going to put my scored line in the well of my trimmer. And now I have my dot. So here is the score line, here is my dot, and they're both within the well of my trimmer. Okay, now I'm going to hold that down. I'm going to take my blade and cut up. Now I'm just going to rotate from the scored line to my dot. Okay, just like that. I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to put this time I'm going to put my blade in the middle of my paper, and I'm going to go up and down. I was feeling a little bit of a drag. So sometimes when you make these fancier cuts like mid paper, it is a little bit better to actually start the blade in the middle of the piece of paper. And now I'm just gonna erase that dot. I mean, you won't see it once we put our paper on, our stackable shapes. Okay, now let's do this one. So again, go from your scored line to your pencil mark. Scored line, pencil mark. I'm going to put my blade kind of in the middle of the paper. Oh, see, much smoother. I still have some jaggedy edges, but I do need to change my blade. So, all right, I'm going to go from my scored line to my pencil. And voila. Okay, let's grab some scissors just to kind of clean up those rough edges. Mary Lynn, we should be thankful that we're not in the Upper Peninsula today, because parts of it is getting 48 inches of snow. So I'm ever so grateful. I am over it. I am ready for spring. I'm ready for summer. Just bring it on. Okay, let's pull in our piece that is the white or your light colored cardstock, the 4x5 1/4. We're going to do that next. And this is going to fold to the back. So what we want, yeah, the Mackinac Bridge is closed. So what we need to do is we need to put some very strong adhesive on these 1-inch flaps. And that is a little skinny that I pulled. So I'm going to pull this one instead. So I'm just going to use tear and tape because I know that's nice and strong. Yeah, no thank you. They can keep the snow up there, right? Yeah, Matt's talking. I think him and the buddies are thinking about going up to the hunting cabin that they all go to, like sometime in April. I'm like, dude, there's still gonna be snow. That snow is gonna be there till probably August, because they've already gotten a ton. So it's a hard, no thank you. Yeah, I don't do well in snow. All right, so are we ready? So let's peel. These off. All right, they don't want to come off. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the triangle on the front, and I'm going to line it up right at that scored line. And now fold that down. So far this is what we have. And we're going to just turn it, flip it, and we're going to do the same exact thing. This card is going to be so pretty. Next week, we will have another fancy fold. The following week, we will have another fancy fold. So we have 2 more fancy folds for the month of March. And then it will be April. Which means we're getting closer and closer to summer vacation. Which means we're getting closer and closer to my vacation. Matt and I are going on a cruise in August. So super excited about that. Okay, so this is what we have thus far, right? So what we need to do now is we are going to actually put adhesive on this back side, and it will go on top of your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of paper. So let's get some adhesive. Like we made our final payment. Oh, I picked out our seats on the airplane. Hopefully he likes the ones that I picked. Okay, so we're going to just center this. So if my head gets in the way, I am so sorry. So we're going to center this on just like that. And for right now, I'm just going to hold that there. And we're going to bring in our stackable shapes. And I'm going to get those adhered together. I must have something sticky on my adhesive. I do. I have adhesive on my adhesive. Thank you, ladies, for pivoting last week with a pre-recorded video. I hope you made the card. It's a very simple one, but it was a pretty one. It's one that can be replicated a lot, which sometimes those are the best kinds, especially when you're like, oh man, I need just a bunch of whatever type of card. Okay, and I'm gonna, so now I have all 3 of my layers. What I need to do is we are going to put just a little bit of adhesive here so it will stick to the top. Now I'm gonna lay it upside down so that I can see right where I want my adhesive. And you know what? I think I'm gonna use a little bit of the tear and tape in addition to my regular tape, my tape runner. Just because I need it to be nice and sturdy. Oopsie. And you really want to be careful. I'm only putting like up towards the top. I'm not going to bring it any further down just because I'm not quite sure where. Oh, I could go a little bit more. This shows me a little more. There we go. All right, so now this, I'm going to sort of center it so it's within, right like that. And let's just make sure. Oh, good. I did not get any extra. And you could have put your adhesive on the triangle if you would have preferred that. Okay, we're done with that. So this, I liked this cute little bird's nest. And I'm almost thinking I want it centered, and I'm going to put then this thinking of you on the inside. Oh yes, I think that's what I'm going to do. So this card really has no stamping involved, and sometimes I like those. I like a non-stamped card, and I'm just going to put this bird nest right in the center, but I think I will use some foam. Now the new catalog will be premiering for all of you this first Tuesday in May. And a lot of the ladies were in Long Beach this week for convention. Obviously, couldn't go. I was at school. I don't know why Stampin' Up does that, but whatever. But this whole mix and match line, it is staying. I guess it's a really good seller. I'm really enjoying these little packs. Especially when I'm like, oh, I just need a quick card, or, oh, I need some embellishments on a page. Like that. This would look darling on a page. So this is from last year's Spring Celebration Mix and Match. So that's where this nest came from. And I just thought, oh, it's so pretty. I liked the blue. The blue was very complimentary to the blue that's in my cardstock. And now let's put a few little gems, because you know, no card is complete without some gems. And again, these are just little random gems from, I think, a paper pumpkin. Okay, I'm like, where did it go? Let's cap up the blade. Okay, I am going to use a big one. I think I'll go up here with it. One there. And I'm going to go with a small next to it. And then I'm going to do another small below. And I think I'll put it on the pink. Oh, yeah, that looks really pretty. I like that. Super easy. Really, really gives the effect of way more complicated than what it is. And then your card would open up, and then you would just write your message there. You could even write your message up there too, or maybe put your thinking of you a little higher up. Let's see if I can get this off. Oh, yeah, it's a little sticky there. Well, I'll just leave it there. I should have put it a little higher so I could put my message, but it's okay. You could also cut a 4 by 5 1/4 inch to put here and put your message on the back also. And it would kind of stand sort of like that. But that is our card for tonight. Now I will show you a sneaky peek of the parts for next week. Next week you will need a belly band, 1¼ by 11. You are going to need a piece of cardstock, 4¼ by 11, and then you're going to score at 2 3/4, 5, 6, and 8¼ Another one with lots of parts. You will need some type of embellishments. I have a whole slew of those. And then you're going to need some pattern paper. This will be here on the front. And then a little bit of coordinating paper, same as that front piece. Another pattern paper, that'll probably be on the inside. This, and then you're going to have several cardstock pieces. One that is 3/4 by 4, one that is two that are 2 by 4s, and 2 that are 2½ by 4. So get your parts ready, ladies. It is a really pretty card once it's put together, and you can clearly see it will stand something like that. But I'm not telling you how to put this together yet. You'll have to wait. And then the following week we'll have another quite the fancy. Just stepping it up for you, ladies. Now, last week I was on a girls' retreat, so I just thought I'd give you a little peek to the projects that I did while I was on retreat. So let me grab those. And I will need to raise the camera up just a bit. So we did this as a Sunday Fun Day page, and what I did was I just kind of finished the embellishments, did my journaling. So this was a page that we created together, and that one is finished. Then the exotic zoo came to my building, so I did this page. Actually, I have to take a photo of that one. I have to post that one. Then some of the pages were already done, and I just got all my photos and plopped my photos on. So, yay! Thanksgiving is done. And I finished Christmas. This was a paper pumpkin kit. This was an oldie, but a goodie from close to my heart. And I just printed my photos, 2 3x4s right on a 4x6 piece, and I left it just like that. Didn't have to cut anything. I still have the journaling to do. This was just a single page. This was at school. Our music teacher, her dad is the Santa at Somerset Mall. So he comes once a year for the kids. He reads them a story, and then he takes a picture with each group, which is so nice. These photos here are from the Meadowbrook Estates. My mom and I went to see that this past November, December. Oh, if you ever have that opportunity, I highly recommend it. The Christmas parade. And again, I just went through my stash and I found pages already done. And I was like, yep, that's the way I'm doing it. Now, this is one that I actually did myself. So it's called Railway Memories. And this is the Michigan train station. And I did a flip flap over here with more photos. And I did my clusters, and I just put Michigan train station. I can't remember when we went. I want to say it was July. But, oh, if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend going. This is just a single page. Just, date night, kind of fun. Then this was the Memorial Day parade. And here I just did some ink smooshing where you put your ink on a, like a plastic, like I put it on my silicone mat and then I sprayed it with water and then took a plastic bag and created my own background. This is boating with my brother and my nephews. So, I mean, it was really fun that I was able to get this much done. I'm thrilled. And when we're up north, we always go to Wimpy's. And then this was our fall retreat. Oh, the Michigan train station was just, I mean, it's incredible. You can do the free tour where you don't have to pay anything to get in, but they do also a guided tour where you get more of the historical facts behind it. That one was, I can't remember how much, but you had to pay for that part. So this was us last fall. So it goes with that Marisa page. And then one of the girls that, when we were all together, she got us mermaid jammies, and our theme was under the sea this time. And these are actually our photos from just last weekend. She brought her little photo printer and she printed them out for each one of us. And now I have that trip all done, which is so nice. And then this is the last one with my nephew, and we were still at the cabin, and he loves to bake. He's our little baker. And so he made blueberry pancakes, and him and his brother went and picked the wild blueberries from the back. And then he made the pancakes with my mom. So kind of fun. This technique here, these are the 2-inch letters from Stampin' Up. What I did was I cut them out and then I put them in my embossing folder just to add a little bit of texture. And then I made my own pancakes with the wonky circle die. So yeah. And I think I started a few other pages for our cruise, but there's no photos on those. Just thought I'd share what I've done while I was on retreat. So if you ever have that opportunity, I highly recommend it. So I will see all of you, though, next Sunday, or Sunday Fun Day. So the picture and the post of next week's project will be posted on Wednesday. And get your paper ready, girls. That one's going to be a fun one. It's easy. Once you see it, you'll be like, got it. So easy. I know it looks intimidating with that much paper, but it really isn't. It's super easy. But yeah. Have a good week, and I will see all of you next Sunday at 7 for Sunday Fun Day. Good night.